Alligator Blood on the outside, raced up in the lead, he raced away, he's going to win the Stratty.
Right, Gypsy Goddess in front, and Gypsy Goddess has won the Open. Kamantari's flying, got up. Oh, big win special, K.
Why is it at the Gold Coast? Can I ask that question before we start?
I'll answer for you on air, mate.
Okay, great.
Hey there, Mugs. We are back for another Ripper award-winning edition of Making Queensland Racing Great Again. And Bean, off air, you sort of asked, why are they at the Gold Coast? Somebody answer me that question. And the good news is, all around Australia, Mugs, it's Pink Ribbon Race Day down there.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so you might remember, well, they go around the pink silks. Hopefully they still do that. It wasn't
briefs, I think.
the briefs. Yeah. And Miami Flice, from memory, won the ribbon. They have the ribbon and the cup, I think. So the two sort of metro races. And yeah, I can just feel the excitement go around it. Look, great cause, but it doesn't raise the...
Is that breast cancer, right?
Yeah, something like that.
It's a good cause.
Cool.
I think they do
I like the
it
track.
across...
I wish it was an Eagle Farm.
Yeah, they do it across all codes, I'm pretty sure, as well, up here.
Right.
So,
Yeah, they do, actually.
So if you can punt on the trot Saturday night, mate, it's for a good cause.
Yeah.
Beauty.
That's one thing they do well, the Gold Coast, isn't it? They do the Pink Ribbon and the Men Matter race day.
They've got a few charity days down there, don't they?
They seem to have figured it out.
What about up here? What do we have?
Not much.
We have
Country music race day.
Mecca race day.
Hey, that was a good country music race day. Got over there for a bit and I thought I felt out of place. I was wearing a pair of RMs and I was like, shit, I'm underdressed.
Yeah, how do you think I felt then, mate? I had a pair of RMs already, like leather shoes to start with. But yeah, mate, there you go. So look, Gold Coast under the redevelopments at the moment, but they've been racing there every week. It just depends on whether it's good enough, Bean, to dig into the form. Have you had a bit of a look now that you've got that question out of the way?
Yes, I have. Rails in the true, and I think should be like a
Weather's pretty good.
Rock hard deck.
Yeah.
I think good for us all. So, and there's no rain. There might be a little bit tomorrow and Saturday, but I'd say it'd still be like good soft fire sort of thing. But yeah, the Gold Coast is an interesting track. Rail true on pace, I think, will be the way we need to go.
Doesn't matter where the rail is, it's just on pace.
Yeah, it is
everywhere.
You have to be in the front 4 or 5, otherwise, unless the horse is a dead set champion, you're in
And
trouble.
I think I shouted out a few weeks ago that like any sort of Gold Coast form that you're looking at the moment, you can almost bin, because I swear there was a meeting there like rail out 10, and it was like 3 meters wide of grass that they were all traveling down, and you're like, yeah, you can't win even if you were close enough, because there's not enough grass to pull
so
out.
There was one that a couple of weeks ago, I think it was when we were over at your place, and it was like you had to be on the outside fence, like, and it's like, what? But it was still the leaders. They were just getting there first. And they were often gone.
Yeah, they sort of come round and then they all peel.
Yeah.
Once they've figured the lanes out, right, they all peel, and then the leader's still just anyway. You've got to be in the right lane.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, look, we'll tickle some fancies first, though, because there's 2 Group 1s that we need to talk about this weekend. And the big one is the big one. The George Main, Lloydie, look, #1 fan club, obviously wearing that T-shirt. You know, can't sponsor this bloke enough.
No.
Well, what do you reckon, mate? Is it a bit of a shock decision that they've accepted with Zaaki there on Saturday?
Yeah, I didn't think he would be there. I was pretty keen to back Anamoe in the early markets when there's about $1.90 around, because I thought once Zaaki's out of that market, he's $1.50 chance. But here we are. We get the it's a bit of a Cox Plate preview, really, isn't it? Like you've got Zaaki, Anamoe, Profondo, I assume, Jewis. I reckon she'll be there.
Ice Bath won't go. It'll be
In
Castle Race
an
Day.
ice bath, hopefully.
Probably, yeah, in a can.
English Digital.
Yeah, but no, it's a
I think it's backable tomorrow. But
yeah, at Newcastle. Yeah, yeah, it's a good race. I'm keen.
It's a huge. Well, you're right. Mini Cox Plate, and then you got the shorts as well. Not a Group 1, of course, but a bit of a mini Everest there, Been.
yeah, that is a good race actually.
Cracker.
Keen to see how a few of those go.
The
Mars,
sprint series as well.
Crusader,
It's,
Lost and Running's back. Then you've got Eduardo.
Marzu.
Well, you're just going to have...
It's everyone but
Almost.
the strip's not. No,
Yeah,
no,
no strips in.
Jesus.
Mate, it's
Yeah.
almost
It's the
like the
Everest.
residual fitness cup, this thing.
It's the
because
Everest, right.
they've all
I
had
didn't-
residual
I didn't
fitness.
think the strip was in that race. God, crikey, that is the Everest.
Where
then.
have
Yeah.
you been?
I haven't had a good look at it. It's not a race I like to bet into, because I did that last year and got caught out with Eduardo a few times back in the strip, and then
Yeah, I'll
jumped
say
off
the strip,
for
like you've almost just got it back in grand
jumped
final.
off the strip for the Everest
Yeah.
and he wins that. And so I think that the Sydney sprint race has kind of had me raging a
And
bit last
Zaaki,
season.
we'll talk about it a little bit more, but Shelby 66 is in there as well, boys. So
Don't
it's
even
not
mention
all right.
it.
Moving
It should
on.
be 1,000-1. Seriously, I know it went past Nature Strip like he was glued to the ground last time, but seriously, Shelby 66 hasn't.
We might have to replay that. Went past Nature Strip. It's glued to the ground. Who are we talking about here again?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, look, the pennies certainly. I should say, I don't say the pennies dropped. The bubbles burst because.
Was there ever a bubble?
Oh, I think it was just the sense of timing was perfect there in the autumn because
Yeah.
it's obviously a fish.
Oh.
A fish.
No,
No,
it is. Like it's
a heavy track.
but it's
Heavy track, picked its spots. Horses were going to grand finals.
You hate it because it's not like a real horse that's going to win too many more, right? But if you owned it, if we owned it, we'd be up and about still. Every week
Yeah, I
we'd
just
see it.
don't.
You
I
couldn't-
just don't trust that it was all.
If anything, it's
above
what we.
board.
Yeah,
If anything, it's
seriously.
what we harp on, that the trainer has actually found the most perfect set of
Yeah.
circumstances
Yeah.
to get the best possible result for a horse that's not at that level. Like
Yeah.
even those
But-
races last spread, there was 6 or 7 in the runs.
Yeah,
and
I
it
know.
was
I know this is all 6 months ago, but how does a horse that comes off a loss at Sapphire Coast beat the world's best sprinter? Like, come on.
yeah, but the horse that beat it that day could be winning the Kosciuszko this year.
Oh,
Cleveland Charles or
It
Charles
was kind of
Cavalier,
like
whatever we're
it
talking
was
about.
kind of like the Jungle Edge. It was
Yeah,
like it was
but
a Jungle,
Jungle
Edge
Edge
that made
was
success.
good.
Yeah, Jungle Edge was good, but didn't get the Group 1 though, mate. That's the
we spent
difference.
too much time on Shelby 66.
Yes, I just want to. I'm sure there's t-shirts around. We just need to have one ready for Lloydie at all circumstances if he does come back and just wows us.
If he wins on the weekend.
I said after his Galaxy he'll never win another race, so I'm sticking by
Well,
that.
you won from one.
Yeah, well,
So,
I'm
there you
4
go.
from 4 at the moment.
No, we'll never won. Well, he does need the rain. We can't deny the fact, and maybe he should be starting in Victoria. Although he'd probably be carrying 75 kilos. He's rated that well.
Yeah.
So Rupert Clark Stakes, the big elephant is the big Kiwi now Aussie in the room. I wish I win. I wish I was in the field because I think every man and his dog has backed this thing at all in markets. 2 need to come out. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Lloydie, how's the hype / your intel? Are we going to get 2 come out for Australia's sake? Really?
I wouldn't be confident, no. Going through it now, maybe the 2 positives. 1, that there's a bit of rain forecast.
Yeah, that was
2, that there's 30,000 horses in the field. So just on, probability and statistics, that there's probably going to be 2 come out.
We
But
love that on this show.
we do, yep.
Yeah.
So, you got a few
They've all got
horses.
jockeys on, don't they? The whole
They've
way
all,
down.
they do all have jockeys. Like, I don't know, Halal, Wayne
he
Hawkes usually waits for the horses to tell him. So
That's
he might
true.
pipe up tomorrow morning and say, hey Wayne,
Not
I don't
happening
feel like
today.
going to Melbourne.
Yeah.
So you could get lucky there, and I don't know, a horse like Tuvalu, you'd think he'd be really well placed in that Sandown Stakes next week, but I don't know. Cross your fingers and toes, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those ones. There's not
Crossing
there's,
everything
There's,
over.
no, there's
Yeah.
not a lick of confidence that two are going to come out yet.
You'd almost hope like Peter Moody had have accepted with Lightsaber and it drew barrier 20 so that he could just scratch it, but it's not even in there.
You haven't. I haven't normally.
Well, Lightsaber would have been ahead of
it
on the ballot anyway, so it wouldn't have really mattered.
No,
Really?
really. Yeah.
Normally I have a bit of a listen to old Moody on the mic to hear what he say. This week I probably need to be doing that later this
Yeah.
afternoon,
Yeah,
tomorrow
probably need it.
morning or something.
So like, how does it? I mean, I know it goes off rating because it's a handicap and whatnot, and it already got bumped up above the other 2 horses in there in the emergencies because it's a 4-year-old. But seriously, surely you start to take a little bit of like, what's the word, like preference over some horses. Like, you've got Buffalo River in there.
I just want to know
An
how
A-star?
this rating systems work because some of them, how do they get such a high rating to begin with?
Well,
You go through their formulas, but it's like it's Group 2 placed as their 2-year-olds, and they're now 5 and they've still got this rating and haven't done anything since. And you're like, it should almost be a season to season kind of thing in a sense.
Yeah, it should be.
It makes too much sense. That's the problem, isn't it?
That'll change the punting ambit. There, you get some really good horses in some pretty ordinary races.
Have like a grading couple of weeks and set them up.
Maybe you're packing him synthetic racing on like a Tuesday. You'd have
Said nature should go around. Gets his rating of 100. All right, you're in the A grade, mate.
Yep. Fair to Claire hasn't won for 3 years, so he's in a midweek benchmark 80 at Doomben. Maybe 2200 just to get the kill.
Well, we'll start with we'll get a tip for the Rupert Clarke. We'll come back to Sydney later in the show because that's where the ratings are, mate. In Sydney, we all know that. And we need to keep the hook for everybody. But look, I think we're all on I Wish I Win in a degree.
Yeah.
Let's just have the realism that he's not going to go there. All right, it sucks. It hurts financially, mentally, emotionally, all of the above. Lloydie, what's your take on the race? Who gets a good run? Who's a good price?
You got to go wide, I think. There's two that I was two, maybe three that I'd be keen to back. One of them's drawn the car park as well, but I thought Lords of Indices, I know he hasn't won since he's been in Australia, but you go through some of his runs, his better runs where he was in a Golden Eagle behind Thunderstruck, a George Ryder, a Doncaster. Those horses in front of him would all be close to odds on in this. You put Mr. Brightside in this field, he's $1.80.
Yep.
And then he meets Ayrton a kilo better from the Stradbroke runner. It was only a length behind him, so he's drawn good in barrier 7. He's probably the main bet. The other two quick little mentions. Just Folk, I thought, sort of horse that could pop up and win this race. He gets a bit of a weight swing off Dallasan, and that Adelaide form's always sort of stood up in these early Group 1s. You think of Behemoth in years gone by. And he's always, he comes through that similar form. He won an Ajax. He was behind Mr. Brightside in the Doncaster. And then the other one, Banker's Choice at 40s as well. I just thought he's the sort of horse that can win a race. He's only had 4 Australian starts, but he carried 5 kilos more than I Wish I Win last start. Got beat 7 lengths. He just got a mile out the back and hit the line pretty nicely. I thought he drops to 54.5, but where he gets to from barrier 18, not too sure. But his Doncaster run was really good, and I wanted to follow him. So he's only had the 1 run 6. This will be second up. He probably wants it a bit dry, but he's 1-2 on a heavy.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen on one that I can't catch, but I still keep backing it. I reckon Charlotte or Charlot or however it's called. Barrier 5, $20. Look,
Stable change.
Yeah, Mick Price, Mick Kent Jr. That's
Archie Alexander, I believe.
That was that's a bit of a push. It's 4 from 5 first up. Absolutely flies fresh. Draws barrier 6, can sit just off them. If there'll be a fairly hot tempo. There's a few there. Tuvalu, Asa, Buffalo River. Buffalo River's probably almost. I know it's an absolute cat flea, but if the rain does seriously come and it can cross them over 1400, like 1400, that's its wheelhouse, right? Like that's its recipe. But look, Shiloh, I think
that's
is
one of the age-old questions, mate. What is its wheelhouse?
It had a heavy 10 in the Glass House at the Sunny Coast, and it got beat out of sight.
Yeah, it was hammered in that day.
Yeah, and that was a list.
We were shitting ourselves, weren't we? We were like, why aren't we on this thing? Like, we potted every week, and it's going to dick in here and make us look stupid.
But Shiloh, I think it's backable. I think it was 8 from 9 in a trial, but that was on a heavy. It doesn't do the yard in the heavy, hates the soft. So, I mean, if the rain comes, that's probably a query for it. It might even come out, potentially, if that's the case. But, I think it's backable, the $20. But, it's pretty wide open.
It's that race, isn't it? Yeah.
It's really wide open, apart from I Wish I Win, which yet to get the tick.
Yeah, well, my second pick was Tuvalu. I'm not getting a price. I thought it would be way more than $7.50, but here we are,
massive
$7.50, and that's Tuvalu is one of the murmurs that they might scratch and go to Sandown wherever that's happening. So could just get double fisted here around. Tuvalu comes out. I Wish I Win still doesn't get a run, and I've got no bet in the race, which is probably a win. I think the horse though can do some pretty big things this prep. Has yet to miss the Quinella. 4 of those seconds, 2 behind on Thunderstruck. The other 2 rolled with genuine excuses. I think Gentleman Roy beat it one day, which is a handy horse as well. And then back through the early days, another one. So horse doesn't really do a lot wrong. It could be, this is ideally its chance at a lightweight handicap Group 1.
I wonder if it's probably slightly better at the mile, even a horse like Tuvalu, like the Tourer, probably right up its alley, in with a similar weight there. So
The thing is, well, you might even have to look at that market now because if it runs well going here, you're not going to get a price, are you, at the weights? So we might just quickly look at that and try to get on before we give it out. But
21 into 11 in the Turak.
Already?
Oh,
Oh, unbelievable.
are we live? Are people listening?
Gee whiz. Gee, far out, didn't, you know.
But I think there must
talk some
be
rubbish, but-
something come out because like everything's like Ayrton's 17 to 8.
And what's that? The Turak?
That's the Turak. So everything's like halved its quote at the top end. So probably I'm thunderstruck confirmed. I know it's still in the market. So.
What's his name came out? That Elation. Would it have gone to the
Elation.
Yeah.
And Common James as well.
Maybe,
Thinking?
yeah.
Yeah, they would have. That would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Cook
talk
that
about
up.
bubbles bursting. That's another one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was already burst, wasn't it?
Oh,
I think there's a bubble.
No, Ayrton 2.0. Thankfully,
Yeah.
well,
Same
one
stable,
of our big outrageous comments is actually it's a pluck of plunge landing. Really, Lloydie potted it. We all potted it,
Yep.
and look where it is now.
Yeah. Good.
Sucked in. All right, so we better move back up before we do get some legit hate mail coming our way.
I was going to say, Touchwood, we've got 3 horses about to have their first up runs.
Yeah,
So.
and they're all flying too.
Yeah.
So better than Elation apparently. We'll go back up to the GC. So here's your moment here, lads. Anything sort of races 1 to 4, we'll touch on. Bean's already mentioned Rails and the True.
Yeah.
Good 4 we're looking at. Looks like a beautiful day down there for the team. And look, it's a metro race, so we're getting the same sort of horses
Yeah.
that we love backing and talking about every week. Just whether that Gold Coast track turns you on or off, really.
Yeah, I thought that was a good thing in race 4. Horse 9, Depth That Varies for Kristen Buchanan and Taylor Marshall. It's on it last start on the Kenzo and it got up to win at juicy odds, but beat Miss J Fox that day. She went and ran, I reckon she ran 3rd, she did, behind Sneaky Page and Jal Lay on a Saturday at Randwick. That form looks alright because Sneaky Page went around in that race on the weekend. She was 5th behind Shades of Rose in a Group 2.
Yeah.
And was, you know, in...
I was keen to back it the other day. I think it was it a midweek or something like that?
They
It was
scratched it
on
and they
for?
went to
Yeah.
that Sydney. Yeah. So I thought that was the right form. It gets to the 1100. Probably going to suit it a bit more. Second up, drawn out, can get back rattle home. Hopefully, because we know what the track's like.
Yeah.
But it was a bit closer last time. I was expecting it to be out the back, and it dropped 3.5 kilos from a New South Wales Metro win.
Well,
yeah, it's pretty good.
might have to chase home Gogol in that same race there, Bean.
I don't know what's going on there. Like,
Nah,
some days they ride it
Go on.
second last, then the other
And
week
far
it
too
was
easy, isn't it?
week it was ridden 1 out from the leader. I'm pretty keen to play 2 in race 1 and 3. Yiska is a good thing in the first. I think it was super last prep. I'm happy to have it. Leads from barrier 7. I think it'll just be kick, lick, and dick, I think is the saying that we use here on the
We love it.
on the potty. It'll win, and then I'm sticking with Indiscreetly. Bit of residual fitness. We'll bring
Yeah.
that out again.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was that was the saying.
Hey,
of
we
the
got
week.
all our catchphrases the other way
That was
earlier.
the
haven't we?
saying of the week last week. So I mean, it went down to what Rubamos last start, who I think I absolutely potted the crap out of, and then it jumped out of the ground and knocked it off. But they gapped the rest. It goes up a couple of kilos, but race 3 Indiscreet is a pretty good bet. I think it draws in as well, and it'll be leading. That's how I'm playing it pretty much all day at the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
I think.
That Brazen Brekkie has been flying in that race too, but you're right. I think a little bit of a class edge.
Yeah, it's just better than these, isn't it? I think, and if it gets the right run,
Home
it
track
can
for
lead
Danny.
them off. Home track. Yeah, that's always
Integrity, mate.
does ride well there as well, Michael
Yeah.
Cahill, which is
Yeah.
good. So I think they're a bet, both
Yep.
of those.
Yeah, I've got one in race 1 that I'll take you on with there, being Clairview Molly back
I like
for the
it.
Golan. On debut, knocked off Saweetie up there at the sunny coast, and then ran in a harder race there before just not having any luck last start. 50 kilos is going around with as well.
No, she only has
AJ.
52. She
Oh,
can
she?
only ride that light. Yeah,
AJ
I was-
hit the gym,
I was
mate.
I was thinking, well, if this is in with 50, this
Yeah.
is a good thing. I backed it first up actually behind like Steady Ready and Flaming
Yeah.
Conquest, and it was a good run.
I mean, well, that's Steady Ready was the spruik of the 2-year-old
Yeah.
second coming of Jesus Christ himself. So must be some pretty good form.
Yeah, you'd think.
Just didn't
The other one
leave for some reason
in
that
that
day.
same race, the stablemate of Yiska, that Soothsayer, is by Divine Prophet. So, and it was a nice win on debut. And I noticed a bit of money for it this morning. I saw Yiska got out slightly, and this
Yeah,
thing
it's
was like
$9.
13 into 9. I
Yeah.
thought, is that saying something from the same stable that the unbeaten favourites drifted and the long shots firmed, and it was only beat 0.1 of a length in the trial behind Yuska too. So they're the three.
Form lines everywhere, really. That's your trifecta. You could say to start the day off. Bang bang.
I think so.
Well,
There's a few of the classic Gold Coast horses coming up.
Oh,
in
there
the
is.
last few races.
there is. I think
I
the
see
form.
Safeworks in
Yeah. I don't
local,
know.
and it's had 7 starts at the track.
This
Everyone's
next,
drunk.
this next race
Jeez.
is a dead set. It's a
To be fair,
it's a classic.
Can we
GC.
Safework never ran a drum until this season for some reason.
Yeah.
It's run 15 seconds and thirds in a row to bump the form up. Well, you're right, Ben. Race 5, we will move, as they say, to the move, who comes back up. I think you probably have to be forgiving of that Melbourne little prep because the rumour is he just doesn't handle any sort of wetness whatsoever. So lucky he's not going to stud, but $4 is your favourite off. I mean, even those races though, you should have jumped and been competitive, and we didn't see that either.
Yeah, it's he's unbackable at the odds.
I forgot he went
900 metres, mate.
Yeah.
Well, he had a start and he was scratched.
That's right, he was
from
scratched
the
out.
the Valley meet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, the race he was scratched out of actually was the Norman Carline Stakes at listed level, which Ballinipatina won, and running last in that race, only beaten 3.5, was Mossman Gorge, the toppy. I thought from barrier 7, Jimmy Orman on board. Maybe not lead because you do have the move La Palmiere and probably even Pizzoni, all handy, but just in there, in behind, 8-year-old, a bit of a worry, but handles all conditions. That race is the best form reference, I think, behind 3.5 behind Ballinipatina, who's a group horse.
Yeah, it is.
I just didn't think he'd be $4. I thought he'd be like 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the best form reference, but if there's one thing you do at the GC, I think it's stick to the locals. And I'm with Global Citizen here for the Edmonds team. I think 2 for 2 track and distance absolutely flies fresh. It'll probably lead him off. I know La Palmiere and the move will probably head forward as well, but I think Global Citizen will just be in front of them, comes around, rail true. I think you're gonna need to be in the front 2 or 3, otherwise you just no hope in this race. That's how it's gone in the past, unless your name is, well, what's that bloody horse called?
Gogol?
No, that absolute peanut horse that doesn't run past 899 metres.
Sugar Boom. Yeah, Sugar Boom.
Unless you're Sugar Boom, the 899 metre specialist. It loves a good track. I just think, get this wrong often, but locals fly at the GC, so Global Citizen bet.
Yeah, I hate this race. I really do. I'm with Mossman George on top. I did like La Palmiere, but when you got 3, 4, 5 Golan horses in the race,
Any of them, is there?
you don't know which one.
How are they all $4? It's ridiculous.
Well, it's just that Bellucci form. You just gotta move on. Yeah.
Move on.
All right, being foggy. Hey. Now, race 6, boys, class 3, set weights over the 1200, 900 metre races, one and done. Thank the Lord. Yep. Zuma California, $3.20 your favourite. You did mention Safe Work here, Lloydie. Missed out on a couple of listed races, which we thought would have been very well in, but comes back here to a class 3 at set weights.
Yep.
Can't believe it is still a class 3, this horse, which is great. $4.50 though for Safe Work.
Yeah, pass. Look, we've got a bit of a saying about me jumping off horses and whatnot, but I think probably the other gear change, which is very, very handy, is as soon as Bean pots a horse or pots a jockey, they come out and they're flying.
Yep.
Bean potted Jasmine Cornish. She's 9 from her last 50.
About 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks ago. She's won 9 of her last 50 rides. She's on Zuma California, the favourite. This horse has always had ability, and he just had a long time between wins because he was in those tougher races. He got his confidence back up at Eagle Farm last start. He was up there handy to the speed. Jasmine was on. She takes 3 kilos off.
It's a recipe.
Barrier 3, you're going to be right there leading. If not, you're going to be there. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Zuma California.
I totally agree. Beat Optimo too. That was pretty good.
Was that Opal Ridge form, or was that the week before?
No, that was the one up here that won well. Well, the one that won well up here?
Oh, yeah.
Optimo was second, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, it was
Optimo was second
It was second
in
in Zuma
California.
California last start.
Yeah, but the start before that.
I think it was scratched Optimo before that.
It was,
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it was meant to run and then didn't. It was up from a Sydney.
It went around in a highway. It was behind, I know that participator ran second. I think it was Poker Jack won it. A third to Hot Spring Gold and Field Weary before that. So that form's alright.
Yeah, I just think it's a good thing. I mean, third up as well.
Yeah.
Pet Trip. Cornish gets the pony, flying after a quota. So there's a few recipes there.
That's it.
That are ticking. Yeah, Ken. 320s is it's a good bet.
Yeah, 3 from 3 for Mozza as well. Almost must-win territory. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll add, the only start at this track, a nice little second behind Prince of Boom, who goes pretty
That's
well.
what I was going to say, and Legal Esprit was third in that, and he's come out, and I think he might have even won a listed race since, so
Mate.
probably won the race safe. Like, should have won if he went there. But
Forget Tuvalu and the Toorak giving away early prices. We need to get on this now.
yeah,
Get on Zuma, California.
California. That's
Yep.
it.
Gee, we're just going to race through today, boys.
Aren't we?
We're just all agreeing with each other's
We're race
tips.
7 already.
We're so confident. How great. We could have another one here that I reckon we might all be into. Mimi Lagarde, done nothing wrong.
No.
Done nothing wrong. Haiku Maru hasn't done a lot wrong either. But exactly.
Haiku who?
I mean, you've got Haiku Maru smashing people up at the sunny coast, and you've got Mimi Lagarde coming back from a Group 3 on a heavy 75 at Randwick. J-Mac rode that day, well in the market that day as well. $2.85, gift or unders?
I'm going to say slight unders, only because I think there's a little bit more to it than it just being a put in, take out job. I thought Miss Divine M was the value in the race for the Adam and Dallas Simpson stable from the Sunshine Coast.
Another new trainer to welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, yep, that's their first mention, I think. But Angela Jones, she goes on board. You can't claim, unfortunately, but 55.5 kilos, barrier 5, it'll go forward. On the quick backup, I don't know what went wrong last start at Doomben on the weekend behind Great Offence, but
That's what went wrong, mate.
at Doomben,
Great offence.
Yeah.
Just one race.
yeah, probably,
pretty much.
probably exactly that. But yeah, I just thought it'll probably be handy to the speed and might be the one that they've got to catch.
I'm sticking with vaccine. It's done.
No,
I mean,
right.
it's had 6 starts, 3 wins. It had the lackluster run start before last. Came out and won again. It'll be sitting midfield. You'll have Barrier 1, Queen of Dubai, Hakai, Maru will take it up. I think Benny Thompson can camp just off them. Sticks as well, which is a bit of a push here for the Golan team. They're going to be right in this. They'll just be camping off that speed. Has that last sort of burst of speed to just run past them. And I think if they go a bit crazy out in front, 52 kilos, you can have my money.
Favourite for me?
Shopping.
Mimi! Class above. What? I just can't believe I wasted 5 minutes of my time listening to you two. I mean, this has just got to be an absolute kill job first up to take it back down to Sydney to compete in some better races.
Yeah, she's got to carry the weight though. She's only just turned 4.
Oh, what? She's got to give a horse like cold hard fact 5 kilos. Yeah, real worried about weight. Jesus.
But-
Bobby Fradd, he's the king of the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Forget Noel Callow. Noel Callow
definitely
who?
the one to beat. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't disagree with that.
No.
I think there's better
No, I
bets
want
in
you
the
to
race.
disagree, so just get the passion.
Yeah, I don't think she can win.
There's better bets in the race, I think, is the key.
All right, well, I'll bring you both up to my level because I'm hot about Mimi Lagarde. I think it's a real good thing of the day. Anamoe, Zaaki, all right, this is what's going to get you two hot. The bandwagoners, we're here in force. Although your t-shirt hasn't arrived in the mail yet from Godolphin.
I know what's going on there. I've got to come away from Dubai.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Sheikh Al Mohammed
Customs,
still
mate.
sending it through.
Yeah,
So,
I think there was a knife or machete in or something.
A few issues there.
But is it as clean cut as a 2-horse war in the George May? Or are we looking elsewhere?
I don't think it's as clean cut as a 2-horse war.
And we don't mean any resemblance with Godolphin with clean cut.
I think there's other
Stop me,
chances. I think there are other chances in the race, but like I don't necessarily expect anything other than those two to win. Like if like Jewess, Fangirl, Hinged, Profondo came out and won, like I wouldn't be on the floor shocked. But really, it is a 2-horse race. In a sense.
I think it is. I mean, Fangirl, you can probably make a bit of a case for, but like same weights as last start. Anamoe was galloping away
Extra
from her.
furlong,
Like
yeah.
I just think that if anything, the extra distance helps him. So I don't think that's a query. And then it's just the clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
Beat the rest of them comfortably. Most of the others need further. Profondo, I just needed to see it win a race. If it's this one, good on him. But he needs to win for me to have any sort of confidence. So I think it is the two of them. Zaaki, Anamoe will be off them.
How far off them will they be? Because that's what I was saying. Anamoe drawn out in 8. Yeah, you've got Zaaki 7. Because I had Hinged and Profondo. You're probably likely leaders from the low
Zaaki.
gates. I had Zaaki in third behind them, but then I wasn't sure, does Anamoe come across and sit one out, one back and try and keep Zaaki in for as long as possible? Or does Anamoe not have that early speed as much as Zaaki to be there? And is he going to be spotting? Because if he's spotting Zaaki 3 lengths, I don't think he can beat him.
No, he's going to have to be closer than that. But J-Mac knows Zaaki very well,
Well,
so I'm
that's-
just going to trust him that he's got that all wrapped up
Mm.
in his head on where he needs to be in the run.
But then if you try and wrap that up and say Zaki's then the one that's got the ball in his court to keep Anamoe posted if he wants. Like
3 wide the trip.
3 wide the trip, and righto now try and keep me in while you're going backwards.
This will teach you to get off me, J-Macaroo.
Yeah.
J-Macaroo.
yeah,
I just think I think it'll be a clear-cut Cox Plate favourite after this. Because I think either Zaaki romps in or Anamoe falls in.
Yeah, Anamoe won't win by much.
I don't
if
think.
he does, when he does, sorry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it'll be.
Well, I think
maybe
what
half
you're
a length.
saying is exactly why a horse like Profondo is just going to win this, because I've been saying it for weeks, boys. The grand final is the mile. Why wouldn't he go to the mile last start there, Lloydie? Needed the top up.
Yeah.
Anamoe, Zaaki, bigger things. Fangirl, Hinge, they're going to Epsom's, mate. Bigger things. They don't want to be winning this because it'll weigh them out of it. Profondo, jump, lead, win, off the stud. No Cox for me because I'm not that good. Bang.
Yeah, I hear you, but
Yep, third up, ready to fire.
why did he meets Zaaki half a kilo worse? He was
It's
third.
weight for age. You can't avoid it. You
No,
know?
I know that, but it had a kilo off him last time and got beat 3.7.
Yeah, heavy. I don't know why they
he
didn't
was-
race on a heavy. His 2 worst runs,
Yeah.
Profondo, beat on a heavy.
True.
First one is favourite in whatever guineas that was on the
Yeah.
heavy. Pulled up and then probably just had, well, there wasn't much depth in the race, but held on.
He was third the fence that day, right behind Zaaki on that.
Worst part of the
That
track.
was the rails day. That was rails.
Worst part of the track, mate.
I
Yeah,
don't know. I need to see him win the easy race. I
Today's that.
thought Jewis the danger to the big 2, to be honest. I just sort of, she recreates what she did in the Chipping Norton, where she was 6th at this track and distance on a heavy 10 in February, beaten 1.6 by Very Elegant, where she was moral beaten. That puts her pretty close to winning this, but
Montefilia's Preps Cook Day. Nom
Yeah.
scratch, nom scratch,
Yeah.
nom scratch 3 times.
Well, they'd have
Is
to
it-
be-
Is it 3 times
no,
now?
I thought it was just the once. From the
Did it run? It didn't run last week, did it?
No, it was meant to go around in the Chelmsford first up.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably your 2 from a Caulfield Melbourne Cup that you want to see.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
if,
for sure.
if they're not doing much here,
Yeah.
you'd be a bit worried if you. Well, they're going to start probably second favourite, aren't they?
Yeah.
What about Converge, Lloydie? What's he go with
Back on
Converge?
top of the ground, I agree, and I thought maybe barrier 10, Tim Clark grabs the bull by the horns and says, "Catch me," maybe.
Takes them on. I
Yeah.
still think it's the top 2 in the market, I think.
Oh yeah,
But that's
I'm with Zaaki.
Yeah, I'm with Anamoe.
Just great, mate. Yeah, that's racing. These big races, you just want to hate your mates for 5 minutes while they're not on the same thing that you are. You
Well,
know?
he'll be there. Hold on, Zaaki, and J-Mac will just be like, he'll just be
So,
waving, waving as the big boy goes past.
J Max confirmed his Melbourne Cup ride too.
Is he?
Yeah, Loft, the
Oh,
Aussie
yeah.
Kerr runner.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I think more is to do with the weights, but I don't know. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had a ride, really.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Well, he's 55, really, isn't he, J-Mate, I think?
at a
Yes.
stretch. Yeah.
I think a kilo to ride some good ones would be alright.
Yeah.
Well, one race later, it's another battle of the duo, the shorts. I guess this is, again, does Nature Strip just win with residual fitness / is it a first up run that he's just going to need? And is he going to suck us all in at $2 again? Is there anything really from this race that, I guess, Marzu Nature Strip will be the first time they clash, I believe. That's probably the only unknown in this race on like an Everest scale to say, well, Marzu's the only thing left of the field that we already know.
Yeah.
What
And
could
I
happen?
think it's Marzu's like an $8 or a $9 chance in the Everest. I think this is really his acid test because I know he won the Doom in 10,000, but he was beating Palel and on Trivier. Like none of them will be in an Everest. Maybe Palel if he wins the Moyle next Friday night. But other than that, Marzu's just been beating up the 3-year-olds really. So this is his first real test against the big boys.
Good track as well, potentially.
Potentially bring him undone. I I do have a bit of a soft spot, and I think Lost and Running can do some good things this time in. But he's probably not really. I know he's 3 from 4 first up, but maybe he's not wound up. You know, he'll just be set for the one race this time in. They don't need to get the slot; they've already got it. Yeah, and you know, a horse like a Thelric, he was really good behind Eduardo first up. So you know,
they're all probably racing against each other, the Godolphins, aren't they, for their slot?
Well, you've got a Thelric and a Matt, probably the main two, and then you've obviously got Polele, who's going to go to the Moya Stakes.
Yep.
I'd love to see Kementari in it.
Yeah, well,
First
you
up
know,
fresh.
if they were going to get it wet, like he'd almost be the horse that they'd say, righto. Like he's the bulldog of all of them that's not going to get knocked around.
Yeah, take him out. I'm pretty keen on a couple wide here. I'm going to go back to Mars Crusader again at the just at the $20 over here. I mean, I know
He doesn't have a confirmed slot. Well,
he does.
Yeah, he does.
Max Whitby. Yeah,
like 1100 short of his best, but you've got Overpass will take this up. Eduardo,
well, he's probably the one that
Nature
used
Strip,
to watch Overpass.
Overpass could steal this dead set.
Yeah.
Like it's the other one.
He's in this field probably wanting a slot.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Don't have one.
Well, so if he wins this, he probably gets a slot. And then the only other one, which is just a watch for me, is obviously Classic Legend first up.
Yeah.
Pretty ordinary trial. Find out what the go is there and see how he's going, I guess.
I didn't think it was as bad as what a lot of people made out.
What else did you expect to see from him?
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to come out and win it like Overpass.
But he's going to have to do something on the weekend.
Yeah.
To be
Well, I think
even
that's
close to competitive in the Everest.
I think that's the trainer's words too, that if he's back to where he thinks he will be, it'll be all systems go. He's back.
Yeah. He's
Would you think he's a shoe-in? Like, say, even if he doesn't do well on Saturday, is he guaranteed to run in Bonho's slot? Or does Mr. Ho go, well, I'll run someone else's horse? Or
Mr. Ho, Tiger Legend. No, I've got no idea.
Yeah, well, what else?
I'm assuming he
What
has to
stock
run.
does he have?
I'm assuming he has to run it.
Yeah.
I think he's running regardless
And
of
it'd
how...
be retire after almost, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm assuming he runs
I think
regardless
you
of
would
how he goes.
because you got to split the check.
Yeah, that's
Really,
what I
don't
mean,
you? So if he's running last with Classic Legend, he's probably still picking up more money than finishing fourth with something else and having a
And
half.
at the end of the day, the horse has got 9.3 million in the bank. Like,
Yeah, it's gone okay.
Yeah.
Should we go back to the Gold Coast? Do we have to?
I forgot.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
probably should do that, I guess.
Muggs, if you listen live, can you tell us what race we're up to?
I think it's 7. Is it 7
We just
or 8?
finished 7.
Yeah, we're up to race 8, and hey, it's a 13.50. Few Chris Waller's up and about, so he's a local trainer down there, down the Gold Coast. Now, boys, I think you're both keen on Matawatakapi.
Yep.
Last start. Comes up your favourite, of course, both on at the overs, last start and finishes second, which is great.
Yep.
Behind a horse called Sir Rocket, I believe that day, was it not?
No, it was behind Legal Spree.
That's right. Sir Rocket was disappointing because I was on Sir Rocket that day.
Yeah.
There you two, anyway. Are you sticking solid?
Oh, if I had got $10 again, definitely. I thought, yes, one to beat, but I'm going to give my old friend another chance.
Whoa, which one's that?
At Wits End. I know he hasn't done a lot for a little while. I sort of probably jumped off at the right time.
He's done nothing for
He's
ages.
It's been
Let's
been 12 months, yeah. But you know, he went around first up in the eyeliner. He's only beaten 4 lengths, and then he went around in the Ramornie, he beat him 2.5 by Rangers, who then ran second Uncommon James.
Getting a bit excited over here.
7th to Love Tab. Last start carried 61.5 in the Murwillumbah Cup. Gets in with 56.5. Noel Callow on board. I just thought if there's going to be a race that a horse like At Wits End can return to his best, it's rock hard fit at a track he's won at before on a good track that he's going to handle.
Yeah, I'm with Matawakapi or whatever, however you call it.
Well, I'm off so to win.
Yeah, get Ben Thompson on, drop some weight. Legal Espreet's absolutely airborne. Winside form there.
Oh,
I'm not sure about that form anymore. I think it's almost.
It's become Legal Esprit form. Really.
Yeah, I think it's almost binnable at this point. But second up, it's just gonna lead them off here. Sir Rocket. I mean, they have to just go forward on Sir Rocket. It's crazy stuff what's going on there. Like they sort of tried to ride it back and then midfield. I don't know what's going on there. It was winning races because it was just belting them into the ground basically. So it may take it on. I think Hasbro is probably another bet you can have in the race. About the $4.80. It's 59 kilos with the claim Jones on. It was a pretty good run last start for Neesham. Obviously got the satellite stable there, so potentially a few runs around the track perhaps. Haven't seen it in trials down there, but I'm guessing it's doing a bit of work on the track there. So I could probably back those both at the price, but yeah, Maddo Cowpea is a bet.
I've got to stick with Sir Rocket. For me, maybe the heavy track last start /
They just need to ride it forward.
Yep, they do.
That's the
well,
tick, like
she's retained the ride. So look, Bobby Heathcote, he doesn't fuck with wise.
Did that get a stable change? Wasn't that with who was that with?
Costa.
Costa.
Yeah,
Costa. That's
Costa.
right. Okay.
Costa. But it's 3 from 4 at the track for that reason, that it's
track
when it was
specialist.
with Costa,
Yeah.
near the coast. That's probably something going forward, even like
Yeah.
Gold Coast form, your Neeshams, your Wallers, they're all training at the track now.
Yeah.
So if you see those provisional meets and Neesham's got 3 or 4 in, well,
Yeah, a bit of push.
all right.
Yep.
Race number 9, the Get Out Stakes, and look, I know I'm still filthy. Bean, I reckon you're going to be filthy. But you did have a saver, because your Toowoomba Mafia came to save the day that day. That Enterprise Mia, again, gave up the lead, got rolled, went to the bad part of the track.
Yeah.
$2.70 again. It was a better price than what it was that day.
Yeah, look, I mean, if it jumps with them, it wins. I think it's
Only 12.
yeah, but I still think if it jumps with them, it can cross them and lead and win. But I'm gonna have 2 bets in the race again. I'm gonna go back to Big Bad Bruce. It gives up weight on Enterprise Mia, but I just think it was in a poor part of the track. Grows a leg on the dry ground. There's a pretty hot tempo in this. I think they're gonna run the Quinella. The ladder's 4th up, improving. It can sort of, if it sits back, it can knock off the favourite. Those 2 run the 1-2, I think. Big Bad Bruce, Enterprise Mia. Pretty keen.
Mississippi Prince for me. Bit of rocky form.
Oh,
I did see that. I went through it.
Yeah,
I was
I
just
did
like,
well.
Yeah, it won the Whit Sunday Guineas or whatever they call it at Mackay over the mile, and it beat No Going Back, who then went to Townsville and won the Townsville Guineas and like ran the arms off the clock that day. Like it smashed the track record and the race record. And then he went to the Gold Coast. I don't know. He must have had a stable change, has he? Yeah, Brent Gray's got him now. So,
hey, Brent, welcome to the
welcome to the
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah,
good to see you.
Yep.
new names popping up every 5 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he bolted in at the Gold Coast last start. He won by less than a length. But Robbie Frad was on. He sticks, and Robbie rode him up in that Mackay win as well. So back to the 1350. I just think he might be the horse sort of
The here and now,
the
mate.
here and now, yeah. $7.50 each way.
Yeah, well, I'll round out the fecky with Harlequin Field.
Bit of misty form.
Bit of misty form, mate. And this time last week, I was spruiking the tyres for a start at Doomben. Scratched.
Yep.
Here we are.
Here we are.
I think, too, we made note at the start of the show, the award-winning show that we present every week, that Gold Coast track, come race 9, they're probably going to be wanting that outside fence.
Yeah, it can be a bit
They
like
all-
that.
But it seems to be that, it's every race day we seem to watch.
It's really hard to bet.
Come the end of the day, like the rail is hot as anything come the start of the day, and come the end of the day, they can't get further enough away from it.
Yeah.
So even like Enterprise Mia, Harlequin Field, even Mississippi Prince, drawn 12, 13 and 14,
Yeah, could be
could
the
work
place to
out
be.
pretty well.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
So all chips in that basket, I think.
Yep.
Okay. Boys, up and about because it's Group 1 fever, so we have to be. We have no other choice. But it's time for living breathings, bazingas, must wins. Lloydie, mate, let's put the pressure cooker back on you. Kick us off, build the confidence up. We'll be convinced, mate. Let's do it.
I think we are all going to be in pretty similar page, and I don't have to do much convincing. We're going to go race 6, Zuma, California.
Like it.
Like
I like it a lot.
Yeah, that might even feature in a particular bet this weekend, I think, too. Just
Aye.
Ooh,
Aye.
that's concerning.
It's a little bit worrying, I know.
That could stop
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, cool, jeez.
That
Yeah.
really could. Around the grounds, I suppose you want to. We're going to go to, I don't even know where they are, Newcastle, I think. It is. Newcastle, race 7, horse 8, Marquess, James Cummings and Jean Van Overmeer. It's a half-brother to Elsian, who goes pretty well. Might be a full brother. I think it's a full brother. Anyway, Got its maiden out of the way last start on a heavy 8 at Hawkesbury. Won pretty well. Before that was behind Sumatra, who goes around in it might be the 1,000 Guineas Prelude in Melbourne. And actually, if you go right back to only its second ever start, it ran third in a Geelong maiden. The winner of that was Mr. Brightside.
Oh,
So,
Yeah, right.
jeez.
so it's pretty handy. It was even money last start and it was a really good run first up. So I don't know if we'll get much of a price, but there are a couple of handy ones in there like that. Man in the Mirror's in the race, and Modern Millie goes all right. She's got a bit of Melbourne form behind Yonsei and whatnot. So hopefully we get a price. Well, $3 or something like that.
$3 or $4.
$1.50, mate.
I'd take that.
Just get the wins.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
I'm going the GC Beans Bazinga for the mugs, race 7 Vaccine. I'm pretty keen on Vaccine about the $7.50. I think it's a pretty good bet there off that fairly hot tempo. And around the grounds, we're off to the Zaaki versus Anamoe location of Royal Randwick, one of my favourite tracks around Australia. And there's one here, yes, the rain's not there, but the horse is flying, 2 starts this prep, finally gets to 2,000 metres, tick, $12, yes please. Stockman is a bet in the Furphy Kingston Town Stakes over 2,000. It will be absolutely flying late. Barrier 6, Clipperton on, who's finally, he's a bit of form around Clipperton at the moment, he's going alright.
Yeah.
Joe Pride stable, I think Stockman can run
He'll
an
be-
absolute bottler.
He'll be up and about because
Race,
he's
race 9.
Race 9, sorry.
Marzu's rider, I believe so.
How about, that's the other thing I was only thinking about that with Sammy Clipperton. He was best of Bordeaux's jock in all of its 2-year-old season. Coolmore bought him, so Sammy, see you later, mate. J-Mac gets the ride. Sam Clipperton picks up the ride on Golden Mile for Godolphin, who's like $6 favourite in the Caulfield Guineas Golden Rose Spring Champion, and the horse is absolutely airborne.
Yeah.
So Sammy would be
and then
the
gets
best of
sometimes
Bordeaux
works
shit the
out.
bed 3 times. So.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets offloaded for the Golden Rose anyway. J-Max back on.
No, that's in secret. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
secret.
J-Max hopped off Best of Bordeaux in the Golden
Yeah,
Rose.
yeah,
And
yeah,
gets
he
on,
gets
on the other Godolphin horse in secret, yeah.
So we might get a call from Coolmore, you reckon?
Yeah.
Boys, do you want the ride of Best of Bordeaux? No,
I think the horse
definitely
is
not.
no good, but-
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Lloydie, I've got to fill you up with confidence, mate. Must win Zuma California. I liked it as well. I'll be having a good dig. Bean, I was sort of keen to take you on in race 9 at Randwick, but we'll give the mugs some other value.
What are
But
your thoughts on it?
I thought Knight's Order could steal that one again.
Oh,
Just for that reason.
I couldn't back that.
I mean, you're going to swoop late. Well, this thing's going to be the thing that you're swooping. So
yeah.
I thought Francesco Guardi was a hope in that. I know it's up in class a
What
bit.
price is it?
I'm just worried about that
I'm worried that-
Lord Ardmore form maybe wasn't as good as...
Yeah, but it's had a
Sort of
trial.
race.
It's had a trial, and the trial it absolutely it was trucking
Well.
behind Marzu.
Queensland form.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good race that actually.
is.
That
Not a bad
Kingston
race.
Stakes, yeah,
But I'll
it's
give the
gold
mugs
trim and
one
stuff, Yeah.
in race 2 at Caulfield, and Extravagant Star is back first up. Big like this horse last prep. Didn't back it first.
Tony and Calvin McAvoy.
McAvoy's, I think first run it may have got in at like $30 odds or something silly. No, $3. Never mind.
but it won the
Anyway.
English Millennium.
Yeah, English Millennium went to the slipper. Did the 2-year-old big prep. So good horse on its day. Don't think anything really in that race
I was
can
gonna.
boast that kind of.
I was
form
close
it's
to having
been
one
to.
around the grounds in that exact same race. Actually,
I've seen him.
I thought Port Albert. I thought it was a massive hope. It's still maiden, but we won't go into it.
Reeks of a bit of another Port
Oh,
Louis. But,
Might be a bit
maybe a maiden
Yeah.
for a long
Fingers
time.
crossed we don't go there.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. Everywhere you look, there's races to be won and done.
Yep.
Quality.
It's
Quality.
a good weekend's racing.
Great weekend. Well, that's probably it from us, Mugs, isn't it? We got nothing else to talk about. We just need to go sit back and watch some winners win.
Yep.
And then I think,
Get that Group 1 leaderboard up.
yeah, that's right. What are you? Right,
It could be
could
2 all, 2 all, 2
Well,
all by the end of the weekend.
Yeah,
we could. Well, we will have a result either way. Hey?
Yep.
Yep.
Looking forward to it.
And then, hey, the next month, Mugs, just huge. We got, well, the Mugs horses will be back up and about. We'll keep you posted, of course, that. But then I believe Brisbane takes a little bit of a hiatus. I think we go Wheatwood meet
Yep.
Yeah,
in there.
Wheatwood's couple of weeks,
Sunny
yeah.
Coast has a meet in there as well. Saturday Metro. So it might be a fucking real long month for
The
us.
other thing too, we'd probably watch this space, but potentially you have a bit of a tipping comp next weekend because you've got
great
you've got Anamoe on the Friday night. You've got it's Golden Rose Day in Sydney on Saturday. Then it's Underwood Stakes on the Sunday at Sandown. So big weekend of racing.
because that's where
AFL Grand Final on the Saturday. So 3 days of back-to-back Group 1 racing.
This could be a pick the big dogs racing and get some cash.
Moses Cass have a dabble on Friday.
Yeah, that's right. Hey mate, we're a racing podcast, aren't we? Right? They don't talk about footy here. Let's say that for the other podcasts in the world, mate. Ciao.
Cheers.